welcome to the Christmas Day edition of Cracking the Cryptic. And a very Merry Christmas to you all. What an extraordinary time this is. I'm on my laptop today. I hope you forgive me and can understand why. It is it's a day where we try to fit the video in. And look what we've got for you. We've got a puzzle by who better than James Kopp to have a look at, in the shape of a Christmas tree with some baubles on it, 2025, outside the grid. And the testers say this is absolutely lovely. So it's our little Christmas present to you. I hope you're all having a safe, healthy, and very turkey-filled Christmas day. It probably is my favourite meal of the year, actually, Christmas dinner. Roast turkey, there's very few things that can beat that. The most important part, it's like chocolate cake. The most important part of the chocolate cake is obviously the icing. And the most important part of roast turkey is the pigs in blankets, obviously. Anyway, I haven't yet had my Christmas lunch, so I'm looking forward to that. And thank goodness I am not cooking it. For then it would be mostly inedible. Anyway, what are we going to do? We're going to do this puzzle today. Now let me have a quick look at have I got anything else to tell you? I haven't really got very much. It wouldn't be Cracking the Cryptic though, would it, if there wasn't the occasional poem. And there are very few people more reliable than Brian Bilston to come up with a poem for any occasion. Brian is he's just an incredibly witty writer, and a very moving one, actually. If you've ever read his poem Refugees, you will know of what I speak. Refugees, if you haven't seen or read Refugees, I'm just going to explain the idea of it, and you'll just be like, what? That can't work. And yet it does. It's a poem where you read it, and it appears to be saying one thing. It seems to be very militant in one direction. And then you read it in the opposite order. So you start with the last line and then read it in the other way up, from the bottom up. And the meaning flips completely. Incredible. Anyway, Brian has written this poem, which I thought was redolent. It's called Rolls, and it has a Christmas theme. He never got to play the part of Joseph. He was one of those kids who no one noticed, the type barely seen and more rarely heard, not a Herod or innkeeper, no second shepherd. He never got to wear the crown of a king, nor the wings of an angel. No one knew he could sing. No, instead he would be brown cow number 4, a rock or a bauble, the stable door. And now, 40 years on, it still made him wince, for it seemed that his life hadn't changed that much since. A bittersweet poem for Christmas Day, but it made me laugh, it made me chuckle, and I hope you can appreciate why I enjoyed it. Now, what else can I tell you about on this Christmas Day? I have got, believe it or not, I've got a birthday to do. It's not Jesus' birthday either. It's Alexander's birthday. Alexander has turned 32. And I know this because girlfriend Celine wrote to me describing Alexander as her coffee guy, and that rang a bell with me. I then remembered, I think Alexander is something like genuinely, I think he is something like the Norwegian coffee champion, and I might be doing him a disservice there. He might be something like world coffee champion. Anyway, Alexander, what a propitious day to have your birthday on. Do you get double presents if you have your birthday on Christmas Day? Celine wanted me to let you know that she loves you. She is your... Now, I'm going to really butcher the pronunciation of this. Is it Buster Trolle? I wasn't sure what that meant. I will admit I looked it up on the internet, and I think it means she's your person with frizzy hair. Is that right? Anyway, Alexander, I hope you have a brilliant birthday today. I'm sure there will be some cake. Hopefully there will be some roast turkey too. Many happy returns on your 32nd birthday. But why don't we get a move on and have a look at Xmas 2025 by the great James Kopp. I will read you the rules of the puzzle and we can have a go at it together. So we've got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Clues outside the grid give the total of the digits placed between the 1 and the 9 in that column. So these are sandwich clues. What does that mean? Well, it means you have to identify the 1 and the 9. Let's put the 1 there, and let's put the 9 there. And then you find the digits sandwiched between the 1 and the 9, and you make sure they add up to the clue outside the grid. So these could be a 3 and a 2. That would be a legitimate way. So where we see a 0 here, that means the 1 and the 9 must be adjacent, because they have to be together in order that there is nothing in the sandwich at all. I haven't done sandwich Sudoku for a long time. Anyway, adjacent digits along a green line have a difference of at least 5. So sometimes these are called German whispers lines. So let's make this digit a 1. Now this digit here has to be at least equal to 6, because it must be at least 5 different from the digit 1. That's how German whispers work. And digits in a circle must be placed at least once in the 4 cells touching that circle. So let's look at that one. That means in these 4 cells here, there's at least 1 5 and at least 1 6. So it is possible, actually it's not possible because of the German whispers, but that's a slightly different point. But in theory, at least, it would have been possible to do that. They are. Let me double check. Yeah, that is all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Okay. I don't actually know how difficult this is. I forgot to ask the testers. It's been tested for us twice, so I know it's good, but I don't know how hard. I mean, 2, 4, 7 and 9 have got to go around those cells. James is normally okay. James's puzzles, they can have a bit of a kick to them, but they are normally doable. Oh, I was going to say that can't be 4, but actually that's not true. Because 4 is normally quite difficult to place on a German whispers line, because it only has one Sudoku partner that it can go with. 4 can only sit next to 9, because it's the only Sudoku digit that's at least 5 different from it. So it's normally quite difficult to put. For example, you couldn't put a 4 here, because that would cause the line to have 2 9s on it in the same row. But there it might be okay, because you could put the 2 9s in these 2 cells. Hang on. Oh, right. Okay. No one can accuse me of have been at the Christmas brandy yet. But look, there's a 4 in those cells, so there definitely isn't a 4 in those. Sorry, I didn't see that. So there is definitely a 4 up there now, because there must be a 4 around this quadruple clue. And if this was 4, this would have to be 9. Now, something that is sometimes worth paying attention to in quadruple puzzles, these puzzles where you've got the white baubles, is if you can find digits that are coincident between baubles. For example, these both have 4 in. So we could ask where 4 goes in row 4, couldn't we? Because it can't be here, and it can't be here, so it's going to have to be in one of those 3 cells. I don't know. I'm not sure whether it's going to be better to think about there might be some trick here to do with the fact that all of these sandwich totals are really small. So, I mean, let's think about a 2 as a sandwich total. That can only be a 1 or a 9, a 2, and then the other of 1 or 9. So we know in this column there is a 3-cell string consisting of those digits, with the 2 in the middle of a 1-9 pair. And we know the same is true in this column. We know in this column there is a 1 and a 9 that are adjacent to one another, and we know in this column the 1 and the 9 can't be too far apart, because the sandwich total of 5 is either going to be a 2 and a 3, or it's going to be a single 5. There's only those 2 options for how to make it up. And actually, hang on. And I do know there is definitely a 9 around there that's got to either be part of the 2 sandwich or the 0 sandwich. So that can't be a 9, because if this was a 9, we now have to put a 1 here, which we can't do from the quadruple clue, or a 1 here, which we can't do from this quadruple clue. So that is not 9. That's 2 or 7. If it was 2, this would have to be 3, because it couldn't be 1 or 4. Oh, I should explain that, actually. Sorry, I'm eliding over some logic there that if you haven't seen German Whispers lines before, you might not know. So let me explain. One of these green lines, it can never have the digit 5 on it. And that's because the next digit has to be at least 5 different from 5. And if you go downwards, you get to 0 or lower, and they aren't Sudoku numbers. And if you go upwards, you get to 10 or higher, and they aren't Sudoku numbers. So no 5s live on green lines. Now that allows us to think about any digit that's on a green line as either having the property of being below 5 or above 5. It must be one of those things if it can't be 5. And the crucial thing to realise is you can't have 2 of the same type in adjacent cells, because these two can never be 5 apart. 1 and 4 would be the furthest apart they could be. That would only be 3 difference. So what happens is, say we knew this was a lower than 5 digit, these would both have to be higher than 5, and so on. So you'd have to keep oscillating the sort of polarity of the digit vis-a-vis 5 along the line. So, why was I thinking about this? I was thinking about this. Yes, so I was looking at this cell wondering if it could be 2. If it's 2, this is going to be a high digit, a higher than 5 digit, and this is going to be a lower than 5 digit, which isn't 1 or 4 or 2, so it would have to be 3. There's no reason it can't be 3. Well, there might be a reason, but I don't know what that reason is. If it was 3, this digit would be 8 or 9, because we need a digit that's sufficiently different from 3. I'm not sure. Right, okay, I'm going to resort to the long line. I'm going to resort to trying to work out the oscillation of the polarity along this line. So those cells all have, that's interesting, isn't it, in row 7. They all have the same polarity. I've not got my normal palette on my laptop, so I've got a strange choice of colour. Right, so this is how the line oscillates. Remember, it doesn't have 5 on it. And the thing that looks interesting here is the purples. That is actually, is that more purple than my normal purple, or is it more pinkle? I'm not sure. But anyway, let's think about row 7, where I have 4 pinkle digits. So if pinkle was low, this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. That might be possible. And if pinkle is high, these would be a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. Okay, I don't think I do. I was wondering if I would have a sense for which of those I thought was more likely, but I'm not sure that I do have a sense. What we should think about, though, is which, within the 2 sets of digits, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 6, 7, 8, 9, there are 2 digits that are particularly difficult to put on green lines, and those are the digits 4 and 6, because we've said 5 is impossible to place. But 4 and 6 are also super difficult, because 4 can only go next to 9, 6 can only go next to 1. So imagine these digits were low, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one could be that difficult digit, that 4? It couldn't be here, because both of these would be a 1. It couldn't be here, because both of these would be a 1. So the 4 would go in one of these 2 places. And it's the same with 6, isn't it? 6 couldn't go here or here, because that's going to cause double 1 here. So there is a 4 or a 6 in one of these 2 cells, and this digit is always 1 or 9, therefore, because if the 6 was here, this will be double 1, If the 4 was here, this would be double 9, and vice versa for this one. So, yeah, okay. And now we can think about the sandwich, presumably. So we should have a colour. I do recommend this. If you're doing sandwich Sudoku, I've coloured my Christmas tree with a very interesting colour, but it's quite important. I normally use red actually in sandwich Sudoku. It's quite important to keep track of the 1s and 9s. Well, I'm going to say at least in these 4 columns where I think that there's going to be some magic going on. Yeah, so now we can see in this column, where is the other of the 1 or the 9s? It can't be very far away from this one because the sandwich total is only 5. The sandwich could be 2 cells, but that would put the other of 1 or 9 here. So one of those 2 cells is definitely a 1 or a 9. So if it's here, this is a 5. But if it's here, this is a 2-3 pair. And that would be really useful, because then we would know that pink would have to not be 1, 2, 3, 4, wouldn't we? So if we can prove this is a 2-3 pair, we are golden. Now, how do we do that? I don't know, actually. Bobbins, I'm not sure. Okay. Sorry, I thought I might be able to do something with that, but I can't see how to do it. I'm now looking at this column and I'm wondering where 2 goes. Because 2 can't go here, because it couldn't be sandwiched. It can't go there, because this would be a 1-9 pair. If that is 2, this would be a 1-9 pair. Maybe that's possible, actually. You can't put the 1-9 pair within the same colour on a Christmas tree, because that won't work. These are 1 and 9 are definitely not from the same set, are they? Because obviously if Pinkle is low, both of these digits are from 1, 2, 3, 4. If Pinkle's high, both of these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can't put the 2 in the column there. So the 2 is not there, not there, not there. If it was there, that would be a 7. That would have to be a 1. That might... No, that might work. Because 7 can only be next to 1 and 2 on green line. So if you did make this a 2 and this a 7, this would have to be a 1 because it sees a 2 here. So you get a 1-2 pair, but the sandwich is a 2, and then it would have to go 1, 2, 9... And you sort of think, okay, that might not work, but I can't actually see why that's probably right. Oh, bobbins, okay. Can that be 9? That would have to be a 1. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The four Pinkles in row 5 are in these cells, because any domino along a whispers line has a low and a high digit. So I mean, we could sort of do that, couldn't we, to indicate that these definitely contain 1 of purple and 1 of black, and so do these. So all of the purple digits have appeared in, and only 2 black digits have appeared in row 5. No, I was about to say that means this can't be 1 or 9, but it doesn't mean that at all, does it? Providing this is a black digit, that's absolutely fine. Oh, no, hang on. Right. Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Good grief. Okay. 4 is the crucial digit, I think. Yeah. Look at 4s in these two quadruple clues and ask where they go. Now the one place they don't go is on the Christmas trees, because the Christmas trees are going to put 2 9. If this was 4, that has to be double 9. If this is 4, that has to be double 9, because 4 only has one partner. So the 4 is definitely in one of those. It's in one of these cells on the right hand side and one of these cells on the left hand side. So what do we know? What can we deduce from that? Well, what that means is, because you can't put 2 4s in row 6, there must be a 4 in one of these 2 cells. There must be. And that's really, yeah, that's crucial. It's absolutely crucial, because if there is a 4, and there is now by logic in one of these 2 cells, can pink or purple or pinkle, if you prefer, be low? No, because all 4 pinkles have appeared in row 5, yet there is definitely a 4 in one of the wing cells. So pinkle is high. It's definitely high. 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know what that means yet, but it might mean something. It might mean something important. Okay, it gives us a digit, because now we can use the logic we did before. We now know one of these is definitely a 6, which means this cell is a 1, which means one of these 2 is a 9, because it's the complement of the 1 in the column and contributing for the sandwich clue. These are not 9 anymore. One of these 2 digits is a 1, because whichever one of these is a 6 is going to cause a 1 to sort of erupt in one of those 2 positions. Now, what can we do with that knowledge? Maybe what we've also got to do is to label the black cells as well, because they've got to be now 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s, and there might be some pressure. Yeah, this one's got pressure. That can only be 2 or 3 now because of the quadruple clue. This one can only be 1 or 3 because of this quadruple clue. This one can't be 3 and can't be 4, because 4 would cause it to have double 9 on both sides of it. 3 would break this quadruple clue. 4 would cause that one to break. It would have double 9 on it. That, I don't think this matters very much, but I'm just going to say that the 1-9 pair in this column now is not involving this digit. Maybe it never could, but that's clearly not able. If that was a 1, for example, it can't have a 9 next to it. If it's a 9, it can't have a 1 next to it. So that could be a 1 if that's a 9. Oh bother, sorry, is this... Okay, 3 is in one of those. Let's urgently pencil mark. 4, we know that 4s are in these blue cells, don't we? Is that going to be important? There's actually an X-wing of 4s, believe it or not, now. Yeah, if you look at row 7 and ask where 4 is, the only place I know it isn't of the cells I haven't marked yet, which is these 3, I know it's not there, because this cell is definitely in the sandwich in this column, because the 9's up here. Now if this was a 4, how would we get to a sandwich total of 5? You'd have to put another 1 in the column, and that's not going to work. You'd have to have 4 plus 1 to equal 5. So this is not a 4. Now that means that 4 is in one of those cells, but we know in row 5, 4 is in one of these cells. So let me explain what this means. yeah, let's just get rid of the blue for a moment. What I'm saying is that in row 7 there is a 4 in one of these blue cells, and in row 5 there is a 4 in one of these blue cells. So now the crucial question to get your head around if you come across a pattern like this is to ask yourself the question, okay, so how many 4s are there in total in these blue cells? Well, there's 2, isn't there? Because there's 1 there, 1 in that row, and there's 1 in that row. And then to ask a follow-up facetious question, okay, well, how many 4s are we expecting there to be in these 2 columns altogether? And hopefully, knowing the rules of Sudoku, you know there's exactly 1 4 in column 1, and there's exactly 1 4 in column 9. So in these 2 columns combined, there are 2 4s. But we've just said there are 2 4s in the blue cells. So how many 4s are there in these cells? The answer is 0. Because all the 4s are definitely used up within the blue cells. So this definitely isn't a 4, this definitely isn't a 4. So there's now a 4 in one of those 2 cells. Now, what does that mean? I hear you cry. The answer, oh, that can't be a 2, I've just noticed, because of this 2 7 thing. So that's 1 or 3. One of these is a 6. I don't know what to do. What do you? I really don't know what to do. I tell you what it might be though. Is it going to be? Is it going to be one of these sandwich clues now? What about 2 in this column now? Is that more restricted than it was? It definitely can't be there. Definitely can't be there. Because this can't be a 1-9 pair. It's not there. Could it be there? No, because this can't be a 1-9 pair. It can't be here. It can't be here, because this can't be a 1 or a 9. So the 2 can't be on the perimeter. So one of those 2 cells is a 2. Definitely. That feels like it's important. And framing, whichever one of these is 2, is framed by a 1 and a 9. Oh, that must matter, surely. Hang on. So there's... whichever one of these is a 2. So if that's a 2, we've got a 1-9 pair here. And if that's a 2, I've got a 1-9 pair there. And I'd know the order. That would be 1, that would be 9. That would give me that this was low. Ah. Okay. Oh, Bobbin's face. I don't know what to do. Ah, no, maybe I do actually. Maybe I do. Okay, this is a very, very peculiar question, but I'm still prepared to ask it. Oh no, it's much easier. It's a much easier question. I thought of a question that had a good answer, but it felt a far too complicated way of getting to the answer, so I'm going to use an easier way. Now, the question I was going to ask is, where is 5 in row 5? And I realised it couldn't be here, because if this is a 5, this is the 9, but then the sandwich needs a 5 in the middle of it, so I get 2 5s. Now, what I could have done, which is much more straightforward, and of course that knowledge would have given me a 4-5 pair here. But what I could have done, which would have been simpler, I think, is to go, we've learned that the pink digits are the high digits. So in this row, I've got 1, 2, 3 in one of those, 4 in one of those. I've got all my high digits, so I can't have a 9 here. It would be a 5th high digit in the row. So this is 9. This is 5 to make the sandwich clue work. This digit is therefore a low digit. that is not a 4. So that is a 1, 2, or a 3. And this is a 4, 5 pair, which is almost really cool. In the wings of row 5, it depends. If that's 5, it would help me with my 5, 6, wouldn't it? That can't be a 1 because it sees the 1 down here. So this is 2 or 3. And we must be very close to sorting this out now. So does that stop this being a 2? No, it doesn't. That could still be 1, and this could still be 9. I want to tick this clue off and sort of say, no, it's done now. No, that doesn't work. Oh dear, I don't know what to do. I'm sure there's something very straightforward that we can do here. And that straightforward thing is... Yeah, alright, here's something that is genuinely straightforward. That cannot be a 2. And it can't be a 2, because if it's a 2, by polarity along this frond of the Christmas tree, if this is 2, this is a low digit. Because if this is 2, this is going to be a higher than 5 number, this is going to be a lower than 5 number. Which lower than 5 number should we allow it to be if this is 2? Let's make it 2 just so we can show. Well, it can't be 3 because 3 is going to be here if this is 2. It can't be 1 or 4, so it can't be low at all. It doesn't work. So that is 7, which does mean I can take 7 out of all of these cells because these are a 2, 4, 7, 9 quadruple. Now, what does that do? That's going to mean that, well, this digit is now 6, 8, or 9, I'm going to claim. Which is possibly interesting. These digits are a 1, 2 pair. Well, no, they don't have to be different. We've got to be careful with that. They just have to be 5 different from 7. So 1, 2 pair. Getting lots of messages, but that is that time of year. So that's going to be jolly important for the following reason. Oh, come on, Simon, think of a reason. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. Oh dear. What do we do now? There's a 2 down here. Do I care about that? That can't be a 9. This cell can't be this one here can't be a 9 because it can't have a 1 next to it. Okay, so now look at that. I've got a 6, 7, 8 triple. This is going to be important, isn't it? I've got a 6, 7, 8 triple in row 5. So where's the 9 in row 5? I don't know, but it must be one of these 2 cells. Actually, to be honest, 9 is not a very it's not a terribly interesting number on a German Whispers line. It's like me at a party. If you meet me at the Christmas party, you really have, your luck has not held. I'm the equivalent of the 9. In that I'm unremarkable. No. So 7 is definitely in one of those. Oh, right. So whichever one... Oh, no, that doesn't matter, does it? Well, 7 can only go next to 1s and 2s on the Whisper. So if that was a 7, this would have to be a 2. That would make this a 1. And this a 9. And lots of things would finish. But if that's 7, that's a 1, that's a 2, and then other things would finish in the other directions. It must be 1 and 9 in this column. Oh, that could be 1 though, and that could be 9. That could. Oh no! Actually, that's horrible. This column is horrible. And what about? Oh no, that column was still. I don't know either. And then this has got a 1, 2, 9 or a 9, 2, 1 thing in it somewhere. It looks like it might be there, doesn't it? That would work. Right, here is a little point. That definitely isn't a 2. Actually, that's probably not going to help me either. Well, it's not a 2, it's a 1. The reason I'm seeing that is that if this is a 2, this is a 3, and both of those cells have to be 8, I think. Let's just double check that. So if that's 2, this can't be 6 anymore because 6 is only 4 different, so this would be 8. By Sudoku, this is a 3, and that has to be an 8. So you get 2 8s, that's not going to work. So this is a 1, which unfortunately I think is not going to do the business because it doesn't put any pressure on this digit. I don't know actually. Okay. So how do we make more progress? This one, oh gosh, my phone's going nuts. Okay, so that means this is a 2 or a 3. So we know that the digit over here, next to the 9, it's not a 4 because the 4 is in one of the blue cells. So this is a 2, 3, or a 9 over here. It's one of those things. Now, do we know which? We don't have any sandwich clues to help us. Okay. But wait. Oh, love. No, this is it. So suddenly I was thinking, why do I think about sandwich clues over there, where I have got no sandwich clues? Why don't I use the one that I've got there? If I made it red, maybe that would have helped me. But look, in this column, I need to put... Yes. I was going to say I need to put a 2 and a 9, either there or there. I can't put them below. Because although this can be a 9, if this was 1, 2, 9, this cell wouldn't work. It would have no possible option. That's lovely. That's lovely, James. So it's got to go upwards. 1, 2, 9. Now we've not put a 4 around here. Now that's quite important. This 9 gets a redification. This 4 can only be next to 9 on its whispers line. So now in this column, we've got the 9, we know this must be a 2 and this must be a 1. That's huge. Well, it may not be huge, but it's definitely done something. We can redify both of these numbers. This 2 means this digit is a 3, which means this digit is an 8, which means this digit is a 6, which means this digit is a 7, which means this digit is a 1. Oh my goodness, this is going a bit. It's going, we're almost cooking with gas. Come on. What else can we do with that? So how many? Yes, in this column I need a 9 next to the 1 to make things make sense. So actually, right, okay, now I'm going to abandon my redification because I've used the clues. I've used the 2025. I've got the 2 sandwich there, 0 sandwich here, 2 sandwich here, 5 sandwich here. So we don't need red anymore. Now, what do we need though? Well, that's a question. We can... alright, we've got the polarity of the top of the Christmas tree, haven't we? So the star of the Christmas tree is a 3. It's a 3. Oh, we've got to have a song for that. It is a 3. It sees a 1 and a 2 by Sudoku. It can't be 4 because that would put 2 9s in the row. So it is. That's 3. I don't know. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. Oh, da, 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 da. I don't know, but there's a 3 on the top. Okay, so this is an 8. So we need a digit that's 5 different at least, that isn't 9. So this is an 8 by Sudoku. There I've said it. That's not a 9. Oh, hang on. That is an 8. It's got to be, again, it's got to be at least 5 different from 3, but it can't be 9. So we've got a few 8s in the grid as a result of that. This one can't be 9. Oh, in fact, this one can't be 6 because it's next to 2, so that's going to be the 6. This one is 9. It sees a 7 above it, look. So this is a 7, and that's next to a 1-2 pair. That's lovely. That's working. Now, so 7, look, is in this domino by Sudoku, so it's in this domino. And now this has to be low, I think. It's got to be a 1, in fact. Yeah, let's look at this cell. We probably should look at this one first, but I was looking at this one. This one can't be 2, 3, or 4. It can't be 9, 8, or 7. So it's either a 1 or a 6. Now, if it's a 6, this would be a 1 by Whisper's logic, and it can't be. So that's got to be a 1, which means this is high, this is low. So so the 9 has to go here now, which is probably going to be important. This digit has to be 8, actually. It can't be 9 or 7. It can't be 6 because it is sitting next to a 2 or a 3. So it is 8. 5 and 6 are getting difficult round here. Oh, very difficult. This is low. Sorry, that's been available forever. That's a 3. Just by lowness on the Christmas tree. On the Christmas tree. So this is 5, 6. That must tell me something. Sorry, I'm just trying to see how we resolve this 5, 6 pair. I'm sure we can. I just can't see how to do it. Okay, the 3 here gives me a 2 there. So 2 is down at the bottom. I've got a feeling in a moment we're going to be having... Oh, hang on. Yeah, look at this. I've just... Oh no, it's fine. I'm talking absolute nonsense. No, it's... Oh, that's a 3 by Sudoku. All right, that does allow me to do it. So this 3 by Sudoku, because this is a 2... Now I've got to put 2, 4, and 7 in this little quadruple. So this digit can't be 5. That's going to be 4. That's going to be 5. These 2 digits are now a 2, 7 pair. Actually, I know the order. So that's 7. That's 2. I do have to put a 4. Oh, hang on. Why have I got a 4 here? Yeah, that's from my X-Wing. Oh, that's lovely. So my X-Wing, which knocked a 4 out of there a long time ago, is placing a 4 into this position. And my original X-Wing also, once I got the 4 here, I knew the 4 had to be there in row 7. So this is a 3 to finish row 7 off. What do we need in column 4, 6, 7? Oh, bother. I don't think we could do it. 4, 6, 7. That's definitely not 4. That's definitely not 7. Oh, sorry. Okay. What about this box then? That's a 5 or a 6 to complete the box. So this digit is a 4 by Sudoku, which means I get a 6, 7 pair in box 2. These 2 cells are a 4, 5 pair. And now, this is a 2, 7 pair on my quadruple down there. So that's a 7, that's a 2. These 2 digits here are a 3, 4 pair. It feels like that must be resolved, doesn't it? But I don't think it is. So this is naked. This has to be 5. Because we're looking for a 3, 4, 5 in column 4, and this one sees 3 and 4, so that's a 5, which means this is 4, this is 5, this is 3, this is 4. We need 3 and 6 into the... Yeah, we can do it. 3 and 6 into those squares. What do we need in that row? 8. I can place 8 by Sudoku. I can place another 8. Loads of 8s going. Feels like all of them. All the 8s. All the 8s. All of a sudden filled in. Now what do we need there? 3, 5, 6. So that digit is a 5. And this is a 3, 6 pair with a very, very reasonable chance of a 3 in the corner. And we need 1, 4, 9. That's a naked single. That's got to be a 4. And a 1, 9 pair. So these digits are a 5, 6 I mean, the Sudoku seems to be working. And in this column, I need 5, 6, and 7. Oh. Well, okay, but that is a 5, 6, 7 triple, isn't it? In these three positions. So what do we need? 1, 2, 4, 9? That must be resolved somehow. How do we do that? 1, 2. Where's the 4 in it? That's got to go there. So these are a 1, 2, 9 triple. But I think we'll be able to do better. That's not 9. That's not 2. What about this corner digit? Oh no, I was going to say there's a 1, 2. No, that's... Oh, bobbins. No, okay, that might not be resolved then. Right, where's 5 in row 3? It's only got one position it can go in, and that's going to do a little bit of tidying up of our digits, isn't it? It's given me a 6, 7 pair in row 2. And this digit is 6 or 7. And actually, look, we can complete... What do we need in this row? 9. Yeah, we haven't put 9. Or I haven't. No, to be very fair, it's me who hasn't done it. Oh, there's a 2 here as well. So that's 2. That's 7. And this column looks quite doable. That seems to need a 2 to finish it, which gives me a 1 over here. That's lovely. 1, 9. A 2 in the corner. Therefore, this is a 9. Now, this row hasn't had 3 or 5 into it. So we can do that. 5, 3. Oh, I didn't get a 3 in the corner there. I got a 3, 6. Okay, but 7, 7, 7, 6, 6. I need to put a 1 in the corner up there, and I haven't put a 6 there. Now, does this look Sudoku correct? I feel it probably is. I don't want to say too much more than that. I could actually, look, I can improve the look of my Christmas tree by noting that the pinkle digits were meant to be the high ones, weren't they? So let's just try and at least make the tree look a little bit more spruce, if you'll pardon the pun. So those are definitely low, and then we've got more high digits at the top and more low digits there. I don't think I've improved it at all, but is it correct? Yes, it is correct, and it's absolutely lovely. Brilliant, James. Exactly what we needed on Christmas Day. A very Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you so much for watching the channel. We really appreciate it so much. This is the job of our lives, I tell you that. It's the thing that we feel we were born to do it, to bring you these wonderful puzzles every day. What an absolute treat. And enjoy your Christmas dinners. Bye for now.